Hello, this is Kai Orion. As you may or may not know, I've just released a brand new album. It's called Start to End, and I'm very proud of it, so please check that out if you haven't already. From time to time, I get asked about some of the methods that I use to make my music, recording techniques, instruments, and my process in general. So I decided to make this short video series in which I'm going to be breaking down each song on my new album one by one. I think that songs are like people, and as we all know, there's no better way to get to know a person than to peel off their skin and take a peek at what's inside. So without further ado, let's take a look. This is the first song and title track, Start to End, and it starts out with this clicking sound. That's actually the sound of a stove igniting. So that sound you get when the gas is trying to light, and if you listen closely you can hear the flame go up. I basically took that, quantized it a little bit, and just looped it, and that kind of forms the foundation for the whole song. Then there's these lighter noises that come in. That's the sound of flicking a lighter and then blowing out the flame. And then this heavy drum sound you hear, that's actually, I'm hitting my washing machine with a soft drum mallet, and you can kind of hear the sound of the dent coming in, and then this after effect where it pushes back out, so it's got this like boo boo. And then finally there's this little riff that plays, that's actually played on a set of wine glasses. I'm hitting them with a pair of pencils, and if you listen to that, it's grouped in, it repeats every 3 measures, while everything else in the song is grouped in 4. So it has this kind of shifting effect where every measure it falls on a slightly different beat. So all of that, this percussive loop, sort of is the foundation of the entire song. It runs throughout the whole thing, and everything else in the arrangement sort of rises and falls in and out around it. This is a 12-string guitar played by Alexander Gallows. And then grand piano. All the piano on this album was recorded with an actual grand piano at UMD School of Music. I snuck into a practice room. Don't tell anyone. These wine glasses are a critical part of the sound of the whole album. I use them in every song, sort of as like a miniature string section. It's just that sound you get from running your finger across the rim of a wine glass, and I've always really liked the way it sounds. It's got this very eerie, haunting quality that doesn't quite sound like anything else. Using all these found sounds, household objects as instruments, to me brings a sort of intimacy to the sound, because I think these are all very quiet sounds naturally, and so by layering together a lot of very quiet sounds, it has this effect of sort of zooming the listener into a new perspective. The lyrics in this song are about the end of a relationship, which I believe I'm the first person to have ever written about. I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone's written about this topic before, so I'm proud to have broken new ground there. Specifically, the first 2 verses deal with this feeling of destiny when you're in love or whatever, when you have a strong connection with someone that you feel like is so deep that maybe it can be traced from the start of time to the end of time. After the relationship is over, it's sort of this question of what becomes of that destiny, and it's almost like this rift has opened up in the timeline of the universe that you've created. In the middle of the song, to kind of illustrate that, I put this moment of chaos, just this very weird, arrhythmic instrumental passage. All these percussion parts come in, and everything's sort of playing in different meters and time signatures, and it just kind of creates this overlapping cacophony of noise and rhythms, and that sort of illustrates this dissonance forming, this moment of chaos. The climax of the song is this synth hook. I wanted there to just be this huge dynamic shift, and I ended up settling on the synth sound because I thought it would be the most unexpected thing dynamically. I experimented quite a bit with reamping on a number of the tracks on this album. So for this synth part, for example, I started with a direct signal, just going straight into the interface, but then I sent that back through into a guitar amp and recorded that with a microphone from several feet away. So it kind of brings a little bit of space to the sound. So this is the original DI sound. Very warm and clean. And then this is the reamp. So it's a lot more airy and distant. And both of them together.